to the show. We are discussing the big announcements that came in from Prime Minister Modi over the weekend. In fact, there was a lot for home financiers as well. The Prime Minister said that there will be a 4% interest discount which will be given on 9 lakh loans to build houses in cities, and a 3% interest discount will be given on 12 lakh loans to build houses as well. And 2 new housing schemes have been launched for the urban poor. Sudhin Choksey, the MD of Gruh Finance, joins in on the phone line to talk about that. Mr. Choksey, good morning. A very happy new year to you. Can you start by telling us what the impact of these statements would be on the industry, on your industry and your company per se?
I think the announcement would certainly be very positive. The demand side incentives which are being given in terms of the interest subsidy would be a significant, financial relief to the families in this particular segment of loans of 9 lakhs and the 12 lakhs.
Mr. Choksey, I just wanted to ask, first of all, is it applicable to you all, or is it only for home loans given by banks? That's my first doubt. And secondly, SBI has come with a killer rate cut. Won't that squeeze your margin?
I think we'll have to certainly, look at the announcement in a detail. Let the National Housing Bank or RBI come out with a circular. But the way I go by what I heard and what I read in the paper, I think it's going to be probably an extension of the earlier scheme which PNAY they had announced of a 6.5% interest subsidy on a loan up to 6 lakhs. So it appears now they are extending up to 9 lakhs with a 4% discount and up to 12 lakhs with a 3% discount. In the previous scheme or the existing scheme of 6.5%, we have done a pretty good disbursals and our customers have benefited. But if you look at it, these are all incentives being given on the demand side, and it doesn't really translate into a very large number. If you look at the statistics of the government or the National Housing Bank, from January when the government started disbursing the subsidy, until October they gave around 13,500 families got the benefit of a 6.5%.
Subsidy. Oh, it's as small as that?
Yes, it is, and in terms of the subsidy amount, it is only 250 crore. The point I am trying to make is that unless and until the supply situation improves in this segment, these are all the benefits which will remain probably on a paper or a very small portion of the population.
Mr. Choksey, I did a search on 99 acres India property. There were so many houses available for 13 lakhs and 14 lakhs. They seemed like ready to sell flats.
Let us see, how much it translates. But if you go by the actual what happened during the last 9 months, from January to October, these are the figures which have been shared by the authorities with us. And therefore, I personally believe that, while creating, giving soaps on the demand side, I think a lot of incentive needs to be given on a supply side. And unless and until the supply improves, this benefit will not really translate or percolate down to a large segment of the population.
Okay, in fact, I'll come to you in a bit to ask you about disbursals. But before that, we also have Jairam Sridharan, the CFO of Axis Bank, who joins in. Mr. Sridharan, good morning. Happy New Year to you. After the big rate cut that came in, or the lending cut that came in from SBI, do you see that, translate into cuts from the rest of the banking system as well? And will Axis Bank look at lending rate cuts soon?
Yeah, first of all, good morning and Happy New Year to the CNBC team and all of your viewers. As far as the rate cuts are concerned, in the new regime of MCLR, rates are somewhat mathematically calculated using what the cost of funds is. As you are well aware, the deposit base in the country has increased pretty tremendously since November 8th, and that has resulted in a place where the banks are seeing cost of funds come down significantly, which is what translates into these rate cuts. You saw SBI do that yesterday. All banks, as they go through their rate review cycle, which is supposed to happen every month, will likely see something similar happen in their formulae as well. One important thing to remember, though, is that because this MCLR regime is somewhat formulaic, then the rate movement is not a one-way street. Meaning, if a large amount of deposit comes in and because of that cost of funds comes down and rate falls precipitously, if all the deposit goes out, it will also rise immediately, even if nothing
Exactly.
happens on the policy
No, I
rate
take
front.
your point. I take your point. Therefore, what are you going to announce? Just an invitation price home loan and, watch up till March 31 and then take a call. That's what you all have done in previous, I mean, that's what the banking sector did in previous times. So will it be kind of a short-term, kind of home loan offer?
Yeah, Lara, for new home loan originations, people will see different kinds of schemes come out, and the kind that you're talking about is certainly a possibility because you don't want to be very volatile in new loan rates. However, for existing customers, the moment you cut your MCLR rate, their rate falls immediately. And if you raise MCLR, their rates rise up as well immediately. So that for existing customers, the rate movement, if they are on MCLR-based loans, will be somewhat volatile and move along with how the banks cut their rates almost proportionately.
For Axis Bank itself, how much have the deposits increased over the last 1 month or so? And what has this done to your own cost of funds?
See, two things. Firstly, we have entered a quiet period before our results. I'll not be able to share exact numbers with you. Our rate cycle, the monthly rate cycle in which we declare MCLR and we do cost of funds calculation, is on the 16th of the month. So we declared our MCLRs on the 16th of December, and at that time our MCLR worked out at 8.85%, the 6-month MCLR, which was where SBI was as well till yesterday. So essentially that's what the numbers were on 16th of December. We will recalculate on 16th of January, and that's when we'll be announcing our new MCLR rates for the month of
whatever your formula,
month
sir. Whatever your formula, you have to compete with the market leader, and the market leader has stated her price. But I'll just come to you in a minute, Mr. Choksey. We've been speaking with him as well, Mr. Choksey. What is your sense, therefore, that the real estate sector is not in any position to give you homes because of its other problems?
Yes, I think, government will have to, do something to improve the supply side situation. And now with RERA coming and kind of the pains which they have been going through the last 4 years, I think it's not going to, translate into a great demand side situation in the near future.
What is your best guess of loan growth in your own company in the second half?
Second half, I think, would be because the third quarter has not, looked very, very encouraging. So I think probably we are looking forward to the next financial year, probably next October or November. I think, we will see the demand probably translating on optimistic side.
Till then, the construction loans, residential property loans, all of those will still be in low single digits as it has been?
It looks like.
Okay.
Jairam, any idea whether you all are all eligible for that credit guarantee, being available now for 2 crore SME loans instead of 1 crore? Does that mean your historical book is also applicable for this credit guarantee?
So I don't think the historical book is applicable at that time. We'll need to wait for when the circular comes out to see how this works. But my guess would be that new loans will need to register the loans at the point of originating them, so we are eligible for the credit guarantee. And I think that's the way it would work. And so one has to look at it on a prospective basis. So that's the way we'd like to look at it on a prospective basis. There is enough demand there is enough unmet demand of credit in that segment. So that's a useful scheme.
Okay. All right. That's good to hear because the rest of what we heard is not very encouraging. Thank you very much, Jairam.